Good morning. I'm Reverend Bill Lyon, your minister here at Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church, and I sound loud, don't I? This is All Souls Sunday, a time when we remember those we've loved and the love that still lives in us. Today, our whole church family, children, youth, and adults will share and worship together. We'll tell stories, sing songs, and create a something beautiful out of our memories, and you've probably seen it already in the center of the church right there. I have some friends helping me co-lead this service. Your Director of Lifespan Faith Development, Lacey Adams, several of our young folks, Jane and Simon, Maeve and William, and serving as our worship associate today, Karen Rush. Karen, can you get us started?
Thank you, Reverend Bill. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church. Whether you're here in the sanctuary with us this morning or connected via Zoom, we're so glad you're joining us for worship. I've been around here long enough to observe that really everyone in this faith community has a best self with much to teach and maybe a little to learn too. Heritage is a safe space for that best self to engage. And to that end, we celebrate all people as equals, regardless of their citizenship status, race, gender identity or expression, or sexual orientation. We affirm your right to ask questions without fear of judgment, and most likely will tell you that if what you believe is centered in love, yeah, that works for us. We actively advocate for social justice and equality, and hope you'll join us in creating a better world for all. Whoever you are so welcome here. A few items before we begin worship. First, could you take this moment to turn off or silence your phone? If you're here in person for the first time, we invite you to sign our guest book, which is located in the lobby right outside the sanctuary doors. Also in the lobby, you can find printed information, so please help yourself to the free material out there. If you have any questions, or if you would like a tour of the building, a representative from the Board of Trustees is here to meet with you after the service. And today's board rep is Susan Conley, over here in the back, in the black and white. Everyone is invited to stay after the service for singing around the piano and coffee and conversation in the Great Hall, which is to the right when you leave the sanctuary. And now I'll turn things back to Bill and Lacey for our announcements.
In case you haven't noticed or heard or received 10,000 political flyers in your mail, this Tuesday is Election Day. And depending on where you live, you'll be choosing who will lead our local governments, schools, and courtrooms.
The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process has long been one of our sacred principles. So make sure to exercise that right in support of the candidates and issues in alignment with your values and our values. Our futures and that of our children depend on it.
Speaking of our young ones, they will be staying with us throughout this special worship service. We welcome them and their noises, their wigglings, their whole bodies and people, and see them as an integral part of our community.
Next week, we'll return to our traditional children's programming. Today, though, if any families feel more comfortable there, you're welcome to worship in the family lounge, but otherwise, we love having everyone together today.
For folks who have been attending for a while and who'd like to learn more about Unitarian Universalism or about Heritage specifically, Reverend Bill is offering an orientation called Getting to Know You after church. This is a great chance to ask him questions.
We'll gather in the Heritage Room right off of the Great Hall. And if you'll want to take a little time to be at the coffee and conversation, and then for those attending, getting to know you, there are some refreshments in the small room if you're attending that.
I do have a question. Does anyone have a heart, a little paper heart? Little paper hearts? Anyone? Okay.
Some do, some don't. I bet we could get hearts to folks who don't by one of the ushers helping out there. But what you'd want to know is, what do you do with it?
Yes, indeed.
So during the service, there may be a memory that comes to mind, a name of someone dear to you, and you can write those memories or names on the cards, and later in the service, we will be using them to help decorate our remembrance table along with some other items you may have brought or borrowed.
And now, let us move more deeply into worship as we listen to Remember Me from Coco, a song about how love continues through our memories.
We still hope it's going to go well.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar. Know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me.
Maeve is going to help us ring a special bell, my mother's Tibetan bell. All right. May this bell sound center us in love that endures beyond time and change. Yes, you did. You did it well. And how about that chalice lighting as well? We've lit this chalice for the love that never ends, for memories that hold us, and for hearts that keep on growing. And now let us rise in body or spirit as you're able, for Love Will Guide Us. Number 131, if you've got a hymnal, but the words will be up here. And then please stay standing for our covenant.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give right
within you. Love will change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Please join me in our covenant. By this covenant, we affirm that
Thank you, Karen. And now we are going to remember through story, because stories help keep love alive. For the adults and folks on Zoom, you will see the story up ahead, up on the screen. I would like to invite our kids to come forward to, not all the way to the altar, but near the remembering altar. We're going to read our story right here next to the piano so that you can see the pictures in the picture book, okay? So kids come forward, and then we're going to cue up the story here on the screen. Mic was not on. Now it is. Okay. I asked the kids, make sure you are in a spot where you can see the book. Can everyone see the book? Yes, good job. All right, the memory tree. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you the picture, and then I'm going to have to read this very long paragraph, because I can't actually read that from upside down. Okay, here we go. See it? There was once a fox who lived with all the other animals in the forest. The fox had lived a long and happy life, but now was very tired. Very slowly, Fox made his way to his favorite spot in the clearing. He looked at his beloved forest one last time and laid down. Fox closed his eyes and then took a deep breath, his very last breath, forever. Everything around Fox was still and peaceful, and snow began to fall, gently covering him with a soft blanket. Owl had watched Fox from the top of his tree, and he flew down and he landed next to his friend. Owl was very sad, and since he had known Fox for a very long time. But Owl knew that the time had come for his friend to leave. One by one, Fox's friends came to the clearing. First squirrel and weasel, then bear, deer, and bird, and finally rabbit, mouse, and others came to sit with Fox. Fox had been loved by everyone. He had been kind and caring. No one could imagine life in the forest without him. And the animals sat in silence for a very long time. Owl was the first to speak. He smiled warmly and said, "I remember when Fox and I were very young, and every autumn we raced each other to see who could catch more falling leaves." The other animals remembered, and they smiled. Moose said softly, "I remember how," not moose, mouse. Mouse, that's clearly a mouse. Mouse said softly, "I remember how much Fox loved the sunset. He always sat at this very exact spot." And the animals remembered. Many of them had joined Fox, watching the sun go down. It was a happy memory, and their sad hearts filled with warmth. Bear remembered how Fox had looked after her cubs one spring, and Rabbit smiled when she told the story of how Fox had played tag with her in tall grass. Squirrel talked about Fox helping him dig up buried nuts in the deep snow last winter, and one by one, the animals remembered their favorite stories about Fox. Fox had touched the lives of all of the animals in the forest with his warmth and kindness, and they all smiled, remembering. While the animals talked, a little orange plant grew out of the snow where Fox was lying. Small and delicate at first, and hardly noticeable, but the plant grew bigger and stronger and more beautiful with each story. The animals talked about Fox all through the night, and in the morning, the little plant had grown into a small tree. The animals saw the tree and knew that Fox was still part of them. During the next days and weeks and months, the animals remembered many more stories about Fox, and their heavy hearts began to grow lighter. And the more they remembered, the more the tree grew, higher and higher and more beautiful, until it was the tallest tree in the forest, a tree made from memories and full of love. The tree was big and strong enough to shelter all of the animals. It was always buzzing with life. The birds built their nest among the leaves, and Owl raised his grand chicks on the branches. Squirrel found a cozy home in the trunk, and Bear and Deer and Rabbit slept in its shade. The tree gave strength to everyone who had loved Fox. There we go. And so, Fox lived on in their hearts forever. That's the end of our story, okay? Now there are going to be other ways that we're going to do remembering and sharing through the service. So you can go back to your seats for that, okay?
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, children. And we're about to hear from our choir. Each of us has our own stories with someone or something no longer right beside us, yet who is still part of who we are. In many ways, today we'll be recognizing folks we've lost in the last year, but it could, in your minds, you'll be thinking of folks that have been a part of your life for many times over many years. In a moment, the choir is going to help us remember through music, because sometimes the language of love isn't words. No, sometimes it's song. As they make their way forward, I invite you to think of someone whose love still lives in you, to hold them in your heart as we listen, and perhaps silently to add your own hallelujah.
I've tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool ya. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Thank you, choir. Listening brought to words the minds of Hans Christian Andersen. You might remember some of his stories, The Ugly Duckling or The Little Mermaid. But the words that come to mind from him as you sang Leonard Cohen's masterpiece, where words fail, music speaks. And when it comes to remembering, to honoring those we've lost, we sometimes need to lean more into something more than just words. So on All Souls Sundays, we create a space to reflect and to connect beyond words through ritual.
Now we are going to create our shared altar of remembrance. You are invited, if you have brought them with you, to bring a photo or a name or a small token of someone you remember with love. If you brought an item from home and you haven't yet placed it on the altar, now would be the time to do that. There are also baskets near the altar with small items that you may take one and bring it forward. Perhaps you have been holding something throughout the service, warming it with your hands, imbuing it with your love, or may have written a name or a memory on one of the paper hearts you have received. In writing a memory or a name, you've helped keep that love alive. As the music plays, come forward as you are moved, and together we will decorate our altar with memories. And for those of you joining us by Zoom, this is a wonderful time to turn on your cameras and show your items of memory or your altar to fellow remote worshipers.
you have a chance, you'll want to see how beautiful that altar has become. Thank you. That's a lot of candles, a lot of joys and sorrows that are spoken here, and we know there are plenty others. So that last candle you saw lit was for the joys and sorrows not yet spoken, and for those who don't have the voice to share. There's something called page 9. It's gone walking. Oh, yeah. As our choir gathers once more, we move from reflection to gratitude. Each candle, each memory reminds us that connection is the heart of love, especially here. The choir's next song, Linger, by our own Bruce Bowden, is a gentle reminder to savor those connections, to linger in love even as we let go.
Perhaps there is someone in your life whose love lingers on. We invite you to honor them by singing with us.
Thank you, choir, and thank you, Bruce, for this gift that will linger even when you and Robin move away. Our love also reaches beyond this community. In the wake of a historic storm, we are reminded both of the human effects on climate change and our shared responsibility to help those impacted most by it. Today's offering will support Hurricane Melissa efforts. Global Empowerment Mission helps families rebuild and recover after fires, floods, and hurricanes, in recognition that such natural disasters are increasingly impacting certain areas of our hemisphere. They've been able to get help where it's needed most and do it quickly. Let's watch this very short video.
Turning now to the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa on the storm-battered island of Jamaica. Officials there say nearly 500,000 homes remain powerless, and more than 130 roads are blocked by debris. All of that will make recovery difficult. Christian Benavides reports from Miami that help is on the way.
This is what the coastal community of Black River in Jamaica looks like after taking a direct hit from Hurricane Melissa. The Category 5 monster storm left behind a trail of destruction, washed out roads, destroyed homes and businesses, plus a mounting death toll. Tens of thousands remain at shelters, and more than 3/4 of the island is still without power.
I think the entire Jamaica is really broken because of what has happened.
But help is on the way. Across the U.S., there are furious efforts to get aid into the island nation. At the Global Empowerment Mission near Miami, Shauna Ford is one of dozens of volunteers packing up basic supplies for survival: food, water, even tarps for protection from the elements.
It was just really nerve-wracking for me to see that happening to the island that I know and love.
Ford still has family in Jamaica, including her father, who rode out the storm in Kingston.
As the storm was hitting, we didn't have immediate communication because the network was in and out.
The mission's president, Michael Capone, says Florida's close ties to the Caribbean has led to a wave of volunteers.
We have the second largest Jamaican diaspora community in South Florida. You're Jamaican, you cannot just sit home and watch this on the news. So they're all here, coming every hour.
Either online or as the plates are passed. Thank you for your generosity. These gifts make memory and remembrance actionable.
Please rise and body our spirit for spirit of life. As we sing this prayer of connection and renewal, we will sing it through once and then hum together as we circle around the sanctuary, joining hands if you wish.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Look around. In this circle of hands and hearts, we remember that what is remembered lives. The love we remember is the love we live. May your heart be full of memory, your hands open to kindness, and your spirit